Welcome back to Humbro Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and we are back again for a One Piece special. This one's the Championship Series Night 2 of our 8-week series that we host here at Lifelink Games. We're going to be going over all the gameplay as a lot of these players are playing for the regional season. If you guys have been watching some of my recent YouTube releases, I've released the last regional that was held at Lifelink Games, and you guys can check those things out edited and shortened, for your pleasure on YouTube right now. We got the last one just posted up just, I believe, yesterday, and we got some more YouTube videos of all this content coming your way for all those that can't make it for these live streams, because I understand live streams are hard. You got to get it here, and you got to be here for 3-4 hours. It's a lot to ask of people, especially in every given Monday, any given Wednesday, where we usually go live with these One Piece events. Tuesday, it's really great. We get together, get to play these games, and of course, the points are earned throughout this whole performance week on Tuesdays and on Saturdays, where attendance will get you 3 points, and every win post that, which an additional 3 points. We try to get things open, spread out there for you guys for all the points you can possibly make to make sure that the winner of this really gets the best of the best and is showcased and their excellent skills as they performed through these 8 weeks. A lot of top prizes. We went over most of that stuff last time we went live, so I'm not going to go over that. I have some really cool stuff for you guys today. I'm really looking forward to going over and talking with you. Really excited to be here with you guys. We got 4 rounds of this content tonight. One of them is going to be a special. It goes all the way back and harkens back to the original set, so we're going to be checking out some old school stuff in our last video. For those that really want to know what it's kind of like to play in the what we're calling Legacy now, I guess, of the all open tournament, which are all blocks are legal, so you can have all those legal cards that they just unbanned that were part of Block 1. So Standard, which is what the format with everything else is being played in, the regionals are being played in, all the competition, Block 1's been knocked out. However, Block 1 in the last round that we're going to have here is kind of like that legacy type event that we host on Thursdays at Lifelink Game. For those that want to play some of the older decks and play with some of their older cards, they don't have to feel bad that their Block 1 stuff that they might have altered out or really worked really hard on to get together is no longer legal. So we want to give them that opportunity. I think it's a fun format. It's a little bit crazier than our normal format. It definitely rewards players who've been playing for a very long time, and it makes sense. I actually understand why Bandai has created the block formats, because they do want to make it more interesting for people to be able to get into it and not have to feel like they're falling from behind, need to pull some of those older cards. I think if you guys have seen some market watches on some of the older Block 1 stuff, it's absolutely insane how expensive some of those cards get. Sermon, thank you so much for the subscription out there. Thank you so much. 22-month streak. Thank you so much. We'll get you on that wheel here, of course, at the end. We do have, of course, pack giveaways. Only one hit so far. It's been a secret rare, so no alts or anything that crazy. We're just going to go right off the top here. Just slowly working through our community box. No alts have been pulled from this box yet. It means we have potentially 2, maybe even 3 hits left in this box. Uchiha for the subscription. Thank you. Curly, what's up? I saw your message. Thank you so much. I will check that out to make sure the deck list is right just on time after I started streaming. I really appreciate it. Always there for me. I'm just kidding, Curly. I appreciate it, though. Thank you. I do have to get that deck list up here. I'm hoping it's going to be up to date. I'm sure there was going to be some changes, knowing there's a lot have been released since the last time I've seen it had Hazelnuts on screen. But really looking forward to her match. So thank you for that. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be round 3 of today's matchup. So today, Papa Squizzar, welcome. Thank you so much for the exclamation point join. Yes, thank you all. If you guys haven't done so, if you're brand new here, that's where I really need the exclamation point join. If I've seen you multiple times, it's okay. It's all right. Because I'll probably just add you just for talking, because I know I've sent you stuff before. We've had communications before, and in that case, I know that you're one of the regular members that want to get these packs. Some people watch from overseas. Some of you people just like to lurk. Some of the stuff like that. But sometimes you want to be like, oh, I want to try it tonight. I want to see if I can get in for the night's pack. And if that's the case, please hit exclamation point join. I also have a special. Brittany, thank you so much over there. And Hazelnuts over here. Appreciate you. But if you want to enter twice for the wheel, I do have a special where you can go to my YouTube channel where I'm also live right now. That one, kind of nice. Twitch pays me the advertisements. YouTube doesn't pay me anything. You guys can help me on YouTube by subscribing or getting other people to subscribe. That'd be awesome. Because if I get up to 500 subscribers on YouTube, I can guarantee myself some financial return on all the work that I do on posting into that channel as it is. Of course, there's a lot that I need to do on my part. And one of the things that the weakest in is shorts, and something I'm hoping to overcome here as time passes. A lot of time gets taken into building this channel, and I know all you guys, I don't want to hear all the sob stories. It's woe is me, I got to do a YouTube channel. This part of the job is absolutely fun. If I could get paid enough to just do this, I would just do this. Sadly, I don't make any money really. I do in some cases. The subscriptions will help a long way. The people that are helping me on Patreon, that goes a long way. I really appreciate that. But that's not going to be near as enough of anything to just really pay for the stuff that I give out for free to you guys. And I really appreciate that. And honestly, the big thanks to all my Patreon members and all the people who put the subscription on Twitch and all those people that followed me out on YouTube. The big thank you should go to all those people, because they are the ones that make it possible for me to afford to keep getting these boxes where I can keep giving these packs away for free to you. So if you've ever received anything or want to receive something, you do eventually in the future, thank them. Thank them for enabling me to be able to afford these boxes as they get ever more expensive and harder to get, especially in Bondi type TCGs, where it's hard for me to get this product, and I can get that stuff for you guys and give the 1 or 2 purchases I can get at Lifelink and showcase that to you guys and give it back to you as thank you for being here, joining me. You guys can come in. You don't have to sit here the whole time, which is completely okay. I really appreciate it if you can't. If you can, if you can't, I understand. It's a busy day. There's a lot going on, and sometimes you just want to watch some gameplay. For those that are here just for the gameplay, I'm going to get you guys in probably about an hour, because I am going to be going over some stuff that I think is important for the rest of the community, and I do have a message to Bondi that I'm going to be clipping from this event, because there's a situation that's been ongoing that's hurting a lot of stores right now, and I need to get a message out to Bondi. I need to get a clip going. I need to get this out there. I need you guys' help. I'm going to try and make a short video for YouTube and push that out there as like my message to Bondi. Please help us as store owners. Please help us as players, and please help us as tournament organizers. There's a lot of problems with their current methodology and how they do things. I'm going to go over that in detail here in a little bit as I read a message that Chris has taken the time to write, because it has gotten to the point where it's actually very detrimental to us store owners who are trying to grow our community to hosting 100+ individuals for these events. We've gone the extra 9 miles at Lifelink Games to build up the reputation and also build up the building and the finances to afford larger play spaces for all of you, so we can host more and more people for all these different card games that we host, and we try to make as best a game place for all of you. And in doing so, there's requirements. There's things you have to do as a store owner to maintain that reputation, to maintain that viability as a store. And in a lot of things Bondi has been doing well to help us, there are things that they're lacking in that's really kind of hurting us that I need to get over there. So I will be going over that message here in just a little bit, making that for the YouTube video. And then I'm going to be going into a couple of card reveals with some really cool stuff worth. I might actually change my only red for the next set in OP16, because I am super excited to see some of the stuff, and it might not be the thing you're thinking about. We'll see. You might know what I'm talking about. But there's this awesome new deck that's coming out in OP16 this coming June, right near my birthday. Really super excited to see that release, and can't wait to see if I can put this thing together, because it looks like a super fun deck, and I want to talk to you guys about it. But after that, then we're going to get into all of our matches today. We got 4 matches. It's going to be back to back to back to back coverage for these amazing games. These are all tournament ready decks for people who really think they got a shot, and I think they do too, at the regional qualification to get the nationals invite and see themselves at Bondi Card Fest. We've got some amazing players. People have been practicing day in, day out, trying to hone their skills, realizing that these regionals are showcasing just how much they need to put in the extra effort to really get into the mindset of being a high-level competitive player. And I hope you all at home can watch these videos and hone your own skills to see what you might be making mistakes in, to help get you ready for that stage. As a person who's been playing card games for over 20+ years, it's way over 20 years, and it's just kind of scary to say outside when you think about it. It's like, man, I'm getting old. But I have played TCGs nearly my entire life. Since I could read, I've been playing TCGs. I got into it really young, really enjoyed it. I love the communication, I love the strategy, and I love thinking about life in this different perspective. When it comes to card games, there's a lot with variance, obviously. If you write off card games as, oh, it's just variance, it's just luck, whatever, you're missing the key point of like some of the beauty of that the card games offer, which is next level outthinking, outwitting your opponent on different stages, on many different stages. It's understanding what's in the card games and what people could be playing. It's understanding how your deck can answer the outs that your deck could have to offer into it. It's understanding the modes and phases and tempo of where things are going, and seeing if you can overcome that and put yourself in a better position by creating a better tempo swing in your favor. It's about certain plays and optimizing your plays. There's a lot of things that go into a card game that those that start at the casual level where they're learning the rules, they're trying to have fun with the card game and the interactions, and they're having fun, and that's a great stage, and I love that stage. But there's the next stage. There's the next stage where the high level competitors start getting really cool prize cards that Hazelnuts was able to win on her heroine tonight were worth $1,500 or more. There's some big money in the TCGs nowadays. I think we're in a very, very great position, especially in 2026, where we have the capability of having one of the few games and the few places that, one, you get to keep your product, keep the value of your product, which is really good. So long as the game stays alive and people are still interested, the game will have value and you can keep it. So in that, you have this ability to actually own your stuff, which is going away in digital games and digital media, and the way that things are moving forward for our hobbies out there. A lot of people are trying to take the ownership away from us. And it's one thing they can never do in these TCGs like this. They can do it online for their online games, which is why I don't highly recommend those. And you won't see me playing those too often here. But obviously, for some content reasons, I might be moving myself in that direction sometimes. Regardless, the point is that you get to own your product, which is important. On top of that, you get to socialize. You have to get out of your house. You have to get out, as they say, touch grass. You have to leave and socialize. And as much as you guys think it's so nice to sit at home, and it's so much easier just to ignore the world's problems by just being, at your home, that's great. That's fine. But you also need to socialize. You need to engage with people. You have to be able to share these conversations with people. It is a necessary human trait, necessity. Meeting people that you can relate with, that you can have fun with. The best part is you already share some interest in One Piece when you're meeting together, or in Magic, or in Riftbound, or down here in some of the other games you can play in the Union Arena over here, down here in Gundam, where you can kind of see some Gundam stuff. There's a lot of stuff that you can share your interest with people, and it's amazing. You get to share your stories of the games and adventures and your past, and some epic story tells, and everything that you can share, like theory crafting with people. It then brings in other conversations with, hey, how's your life going? You okay? You doing good today? That's great. I'm proud. You start having those real conversations that you need to have with people to help you have that social connection and feel that value in life. And it helps fulfill you and give you a sense of purpose, which is fantastic. And I love that. And I love that game stores are one of the few bastions that have survived through COVID that have been enabling people to get that social interaction, to get away from just the work-life balance that you had at home, work-life balance, to give you an excuse to get outside and socialize and meet people, meet new people, maybe some amazing people you never would have met before. And I know that, especially in our One Piece community, we've met people meeting some of the best people in the world. They've had the greatest friendships that are going to contest time, because in adult life, once you get out of high school, once you start growing up, making friends is a little bit harder. It's a tough truth. It's a tough reality for you out there. It's gonna be a little bit harder the more you grow up, because there's less places you're gonna be exposed to. You don't have the school of 100 people sharing your demographic and maybe your interests and your generation. It's all spread out over the world and all over the place with the different age groups and different interests and all the different hobbies. And as the digital age gets more and more convoluted, we're all living in pockets of interests that we get to carry, and it's harder to get those people all in the same space. And then online, you have that anonymity where people just can be rude when they know you. They wouldn't be rude in public. They're acting out and acting a fool just for funs and giggles at home. But when they're acting out in public, most of the time it's for the fun of everybody else around them. And that's what's good. That's what's great about these card games. We should be encouraging more people to moving to these TCG card games. That's why I love the way that I'm doing this channel, where I'm doing live coverage at the game store of some of the games we play, and you guys get to see these live interactions sometimes when I'm there, and then you get to see me do some commentary over top of it, and even communicate with me, because I enjoy it. I love your comments. Thank you so much out there. Really appreciate that. But these are things that we need, guys. Now, without further ado, I did say I was going to get into it, and it's important. Let's start with my message to Bondi. Now I'm going to try and scooch in just a little bit to see if I can. Is this going to let me in any higher? All right. So I guess this isn't going to let me get this any larger here on the scroll. It's not letting me make the old man text thing a real thing here. But here's the issue, and you guys can read this on the screen if you want to, and I'll read it for you in just a moment. We're having some issues here in the gaming community, and it comes down to the tournament organization for these major events. Bondi has right now a lottery system. In all intents and purposes, it makes sense. It drives attention. It gets people excited. It gets the people on your app. It gets you all those rewards of having this massive amount of attendance to it that help kind of sell the quality of your game. Your game is already doing fantastic. You don't need these things. The lottery system to which you're offering right now for people to get in has created the idea of shortage. The concept of shortage then drives people to do bots and also has them signing up for events that they in no way would be able to tell at the time that they're signing up for it if the weekend of the day and the time meets their own schedule. For those that have ever done this in these tournament entries, you have a spot, a time, you set your phone to it because you know if you don't, you're not getting in. If you don't set your timer, if you don't set your little alarm to get into these things and you're not on within 5 minutes, you're on a wait list on every single thing that you want to participate in. And that's discouraging. If you're on a wait list, you're going to make other plans. You're going to do other things. You're just like, okay, I didn't get in. I'll figure something else out. Sometimes all these schedules will line up and you'll see that you could do something else during this time. And what happens when it gets closer to the actual event, and something that sadly happened to us this weekend with Gundam, we had a 64-person store tournament and a game that is extremely popular. We had over 120 registered people for this event. We had over 60 drops. Over 60. And our ending total was closer to 30 people for a 64-person event. This was high-level competitive play for you to get your invites to Nats at a 64-person tournament, and there are over 1,000 players within our region, and I'm talking about Northern Virginia, Southern Virginia, Roanoke, a lot of people all over the state of Virginia, the ones that would make this our trek to come to this event. There are over thousands of players that would love to participate in this high-level tournament. But what had happened is the announcement came up to register. The bots and other people who didn't have time to look at the date, the time, cross-reference their schedule, they just said, I'm going to get in there. I'm going to go now. Because if I don't get in. And now, because I'm in this rapid fire grab, I then have to sit back and go, wait a minute, what am I doing that weekend? That's like 2 months away. What am I doing? And then you say, wait, I can't go to that. I can't attend that thing. I'm just going to drop out of this thing. Well, then Bondi says, hey, you didn't host a 64-person tournament. You hosted a 30-person tournament. We gave you 64 seats. And they're looking at us like we're the fault for why people aren't attending the event, when in reality, the fault is the concept of how you're selling these events. You've got to stop this lottery capping nonsense. It's going to start with the fix, and I'll get to that in just a minute. I'm going to get the fix in just a minute, but we got to go over exactly what's been causing the problems. Uchiha in the chat says 115 dropouts during the last two combined events is disgusting. It really is. And Uchiha's not wrong. He's seen it. He knows what we're talking about. We had max seating participation for these events, and then some. And people will check their phone and be like, oh, that's right, I can't attend that weekend. Oh, that's right, I can't do stuff. And then those other people that were discouraged because they're on the waiting list were like, I was going to plan something else to do that day. When they could have just shown up and they could have made it. Anyone on the wait list wouldn't even had to worry because they would have made it guaranteed on ours, because we had 60 drops from the 120 people that were registered for this event. All those other people that were on the wait list that didn't even realize they could make it into the event didn't even show up. And I'm willing to bet you that number would be even higher if it wasn't for the fact that they felt that they were on a wait list and there was no chance for them to get in. And they weren't going to waste an hour drive to a store on the chance that they could play. It's really discouraging. We have the tournament space. We have the tournament players. Like I said, hours along. If you do the radius around Charlottesville, Virginia, you'll know that Nova has a lot of players. They have a big scene up in Nova. You have people across the mountain over at JMU and in Harrisonburg. You got people down in Roanoke who play down there with Star City Games and their big adventure down there. We have people over the east in Richmond and that big place out in Richmond. There's major hubs all around Virginia that would love to come here, but it's an hour and a half, and sometimes in traffic. You're not going to encourage people to come down for an hour and a half on an off chance that they may not play. It's just not going to happen. You need to allow the stores to cap what they're allowed to be able to host, what they can feasibly hit. And that store needs to be able to host it on their own. Not on this lottery system, not on this one day, all tournaments, and all stores come out here during this day. No, let the stores host the stuff. Get a better app that says, hey, when these stores are going to be going live for this different location, and have time for people to know what the date is going to be before they go in and register. They have to be able to know what it is they're signing up for and what day they need to mark off on their calendar in order to be prepared for this event, so they can say, okay, 2 months from now, I need to be in Charlottesville, Virginia for this event at 12 o'clock. Not, I need to sign up, need to sign up, need to sign up, need to sign up. Which ones I got on 3? Okay, maybe a couple weeks later, maybe a month later, they're starting to look at the calendar like, oh, which one's the time of these? Oh man, I got a wedding that day. Oh man, I got to go see my parents that day, and I told them it was Mother's Day weekend or something. I mean, stuff happens to people, guys. And you don't have time to check if it's Mother's Day weekend. You have time to see if there's a family reunion or something else going on during that time. You don't have time because you have seconds to make the decision to get in here. And while that makes your app look good, it makes the store look bad. Especially if you don't want or cannot attend the tournament. So Lifelink Games and Chris has put together his solution, and it's only going to be a temporary solution that's only going to be a little band-aid on the problem that's not going to get any better until Bondi starts making events less lottery. It needs to stop. I understand business-wise, as a business major myself, why this makes sense to you and why this looks so good on paper, but why it doesn't function and why it hurts the people that are doing the best amount of work for you and making your game viable, playable, having people have a place to engage with, building communities to which make and cater to the best of the best of your community to help sell your product, that just don't just sell your product, but they advertise your stuff and they get the stuff out there to you. They actually do the most amount of work for your business as an advertising agent to make your business successful. The creators, a little bit like me, I'm not that big, but there are creators out there that are bigger than me that I talk to on the regular that are doing bangbuster numbers for you and selling these things, and they're working with stores to make your product good because we believe in your product, we like what you're selling, we want to buy it, we want to play it, we want to engage, and we want to share that joy with everybody else. But when you do the lottery-based system and you cap these people in these events the way you do, you're shorthanding your own money and you're creating this attendance gap that's occurring at stores nationwide. What would you rather have? The fact that you have a one day, the system's nearly crashed because you couldn't handle all the bots and all the craziness with people trying to get the lotteries in there to get in these events, and you can say, hey, wow, we have all these people with all these wait lists. And then the time of the event, we had 50% of the people show up for the event. And then we're reporting on, we had 50% of the people for the 64 tournament when we could have housed thousands. If the demand was high enough, if the demand was allowed to be high enough, and we realized that we needed space for thousands, that would encourage the store to go buy a space for thousands. That would go encourage a store or a team of organizers to go rent out a place to house that many players to play in these events. That would get judges and people interested in your program that want to help out the judges to get paid for those events, that help people in other venues make even more money. You're talking about how to make the economy work. I'm talking to you, Bondi, not just to the players who are really hurting from this, but you, the one that wants to make a amount of money. You can host an event. You cap it at 2,500. You could have had 6,000 people. 6,000 people buying hotel rooms, buying food from you, buying packs, buying your product, selling your stuff, making videos, putting it on social media, showing people how much fun they're having, making your stuff go viral on all the different social media apps, all the content creation that's going out there. People saying record-breaking attendance of 6,000 people have attended the New York Comic-Con or the New York Bondi Fest. And those are numbers you can sell. The newspapers like, this was insane. We had so many people, we didn't know what to do with them. And now you got newspapers writing for you for free. And now suddenly everyone's like, wow, there was that many people attending this event? This must be a really popular game. You know what those people do? They say, I'm going to get into the game. I'm going to start playing the game. And now you have a new revenue stream of people saying, hey, I don't want to miss the popular thing. This seems like something really everybody likes to do. Yes, that's how business works. That's how you get people into this. That's how you keep growing. We know this as a store at a small level. That when we sell out events and we sell out nights and people are just going crazy about it, wow, there's so many people showing up on Tuesday to play One Piece. We've brought in 20 new customers just because they were impressed with the size of it. You have parents saying, hey, I wonder if my kid would like that. And it's a place for kids. It's a place that we make for kids. We make sure it's safe for everybody. Safe for everybody. And it's inviting for everybody. And the parents are so thankful. They seriously, the last few weeks, I have been met with more parents who are almost in tears because they're so excited to introduce their kids into a community that's so welcoming. And thank you, community, by the way. Thank you, because you make that possible. It's not just me. It's all of you out there. They're like, you're always looking out for us. You're helping us through when we're getting problems. We're doing our stuff, and they love it, and they're saying thank you. And they appreciate it, and it grows, and that goodness spreads. That goodness goes into the next thing, into the next thing, and the next thing. You put good, and it creates the cycle of good. For those that haven't watched Pay It Forward, you should probably watch it. It's a good movie. That's what this is about. It's about creating these people and making these good experiences and not punishing the stores who are victims of the strategy to which you developed with the lottery system. Now I'm going to go into real quick here after I'm going to get a chat real quick, and then I'm going to get into what we're having to do as a store. So all of you guys are aware, and we'll have something out there so you guys understand what we have to do as a store to try to maximize proper attendance to these things so we don't look bad on the Bondi statistics when we're hosting events that could be up to 100 plus people, but you're not enabling us to host that many people, and your lottery system is making our attendance look weak when we had double the people on the wait list. Uchiha says, stuff happens, but when it's 60 drops all on the day of, that's not life getting in the way. It's incentive pieces of garbage who don't care. Uchiha, I'm with you to a degree. Some people don't check their stuff until they're like, oh yeah, I wasn't going to be able to make that tournament. I'm with you, and I get where your heart's at, and I respect it. I would like people to tell me earlier that they're going to drop. I would like that to happen more reasonable. But in reality, the way people's lives, especially in the day and age that we live now, we don't have time to be looking. We barely take the time for ourselves to do scheduling. We barely do anything for the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Good book. Check it out. There are people that just stuff happens. And it is deterring because if they would have done it well in advance, other people would have gotten the message that, hey, you're invited. You made it on the wait list. You're good to go. And that could help mitigate some of it. But I don't think that's the direct cause. I think that's just a additional symptom of the cause of having people so nervously grabbing every event they possibly can and not having the time to calendar this stuff, and to expect everyone to calendar is unreasonable. People don't do it. Yeah. Uchiha, it's hard to say what percentage is which. There are selfish people out there. There are people who, and this is the one that we're going to be addressing here. This is the people that don't even take the time to tell us they're going to drop. We're holding this spot for them, and they're not even giving us the courtesy to tell us that they're not going to be able to make the event. They're like, they'll figure it out. Well, bro, they'll figure it out is discouraging somebody else from making the trip to come see us, or the trip to come to the event. That's a problem. All right, let's get into the message here from Chris. Hello, everyone. I wanted to make a quick announcement regarding the Bondi events and the last-minute cancellations and no-shows. Over the last few months, this has become a pretty major issue across the Bondi games. We completely understand that life happens, plans change sometimes, but the amount of last-minute drops has gotten way out of hand recently. For our last 2 Bondi Store Championships in the last month alone, we had over 115 combined cancellation no-shows. Even after sending out 12 plus direct reminders through the Bondi app, asking players to cancel ahead of time if they couldn't make it, And these were sent out weeks and weeks in advance to boot. We still had no shows. The biggest issue with this is that these are the capped events with limited spots. When someone no shows or cancels right before the event, someone else misses a chance to play. We usually don't have enough time to fill the spot for that extra person because these are shut. You got a short window to fit these in here. It creates confusion during the check-in and registration, and it hurts our ability to fully cap events, which can affect future Bondi event allocations and championships for the store. We could actually not be asked to host because we didn't have enough people to show up. And it's not really at the fault of the store. We're doing everything we can with communication. I legitimately think that we go to the ends of the earth to make things even better than what we're being offered to often, because we put community first as one of our roles, and we try our best to make sure we're giving everything back to the community as possible. We've got a good reputation for that here. And as a store who has that level of reputation, we're still having to suffer this. I don't really believe this is on us. You might be out there and tell me that there's something I'm missing. There might be something that we could probably do better, and maybe I might be overlooking it. And I'm willing to take your advice, but I feel like we've done everything we can in our part. Because of this, we're going to start implementing a system similar to the Bondi's overseas fair play regulations policy under the Bondi to hopefully introduce something official in the U.S. Bondi event attendance policy. This applies to capped events at the Bondi TCG app. No shows, events, and cancellations within 24 hours of the event start time. Here are your penalties. 0 to 1, there's not going to be any penalty, but we are going to give you a warning. We're going to tell you, please, this is coming away. After 2 events, event applications are canceled for 30 days. So anything that we see you register in, we will be kicking you out of it. We will be deregistering you. If you give us two offenses, we're just going to go through the app, we're going to recognize your name, and we're just going to boot you from the system. 3 offenses, event applications canceled for 90 days. So that means for a total of 90 days, we'll have our own little calendar of doing this stuff. We will be kicking you out of all events from our store for 90 days. At 3+ events. We hope to never have to use this whatsoever. Personally, we really don't want to. But it's come to the point where if there are no consequences, then what's the point? And we need something to incentivize everyone out there to do the right thing, which is cancel if you can't show up. And please do it the moment you know something, not a minute before. Finally, I hope everyone understands that we need to find a way to make things fair to the players who are actively trying to attend these events and respect the shop who's trying to host them. We are trying desperately to get our events bigger and bigger for you guys. We want to eventually host something that's going to be thousands of space for you guys. It's way in the future here, but we think we can do it. We think with enough time, dedication, financial investment, community building, we can throw some major events for you guys that can bring in a lot of great business for around here, but also some great opportunities for you guys to meet players from all over the world that share your interests and share your love of the game. We appreciate everyone who communicates with us ahead of time. It helps us make these events successful for the whole community. It really does. So, if you need a little box here, Chris has gone even made a graphic for it, which I really appreciate. We have some more One Piece events coming up here soon that have to deal with the extra grand battle that's coming up here soon. So if you guys are in there, please make sure that you know you got in. Had quite a few drops yet again. So there's a lot of room for that. Please, this Saturday, if you have the opportunity to be here, there's a good chance that there's some room for you to play. We'll see how the space comes out here, but it's been getting to the point where it's unruly. Uchiha says there's a percentage who just go, I don't want to play anymore, but it's not all of them. That's true. And it's not fair of me to lump the people who generally can't for life reasons with the other people who simply don't want to play anymore. Yeah, and that's fair, Uchiha. I get it. It's difficult because there's a lot of factors. This is not an easy one button fix thing. I will say that as a person who's been playing these games for a long time, I've never had issues with capped events because we don't cap events. We don't. In Magic the Gathering, they're just like, we expect 5,000 people to show up, and they make a room for 5,000 people, and they probably do get 5,000 people. It rarely does these events really need a cap if you plan for a decent amount of people showing up. I'd say the biggest issue that comes in those is you never have enough product for everybody that does show up. And that's one of the things that's a good thing. If you ask me, you don't have enough stuff. That means you got a higher demand than you realized, but you should be making corrections to overcome that demand. You should be doing something as a business to make sure that you're supplying enough for the people, that there's too much left, and that's okay to have a little bit too much left. That you satisfied all the customers with what they wanted. That's how you maximize profit. Obviously, it's business 101, guys. So that's going to be my message to Bandai. I want to say, first and foremost, and most importantly, above all things, Bandai, we love you. We respect you. Out of all the games, the people that I've played games for, the Namco, Bandai, Namco, I'm sorry, but Wizards of the Coast, what's the funny one, like the Surfers of the Coast. I've been with a lot of different card games. I've had a lot of mini card games reach out with like Alpha Clash and stuff. I've worked with a lot of smaller and bigger organizations. And as a player who fills out the surveys that Bandai pushes out all the time, they're one of the few companies that actually respond. They're one of the few companies that look at the messages that I'm trying to send, and they don't see me as an enemy. They don't see me as someone who's actively trying to hate on your product just to hate on your product, because they know better. I'm a 9. Guys, I'm a 9. I'm a guy who loves the game so much, but knows that there's just a little bit you need to do to make it a little bit better, to make sure that everyone gets an opportunity to play your game. I'm sure that a lot of you guys have been dealing with the heartache of the shortage of the product that's just not getting printed enough, and they're working on it every so slightly because they're so terrified of overprinting and killing the game that way. It's a dangerous game that they have to play. There's something you got to give some respect to as they try to figure out those numbers, because the scalpers are given sort of misleading numbers because they buy so fast. They just assume that was high demand, but the scalpers are buying in such large volumes that they assume that is the overall price. And if the scalpers sell out, they're not wrong that there's that much of a demand for the product because people are buying from them, obviously. But what is the number you have to print at that discourages the scalpers from buying the product, but also keeps the encouragement of people to say that there's still value in the game? Because once you overprint a card game, and this is just reality, guys, when you overprint the product and the product becomes cheap, so cheap that there's no value even in the alt art hits or the special rare hits, and you get these amazing like alt art Nico Robbins that are going for $100 on pre-release. I don't think it's that high anymore. But you get these awesome cards and people are chasing after this. And they're like, oh man, I really want that. I really want that. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. It chases the demand, gives that excitement for you to want to open the product. But if they overprint it and this thing's worth 5 cents, no one buys a set anymore. It sits there and it rots on a shelf. And we can't get rid of it like Spider-Man. We can't get rid of it like some of the other sets that have gone terrible. And it does hit the business hard. It hits them for a couple months, and sometimes they get it. I've seen games die from this. Smaller companies, obviously, because they can't recover from like that, from overprinting, but it can kill a card game. So they're dancing on a web that they have to figure out. It's not an easy game. This is why you got into the business in the first place, Bandai. You want to give it a shot. That's the risk you're taking. We appreciate you listening to the surveys. We appreciate the time that you ask us to give to you and the time that you take to implement those changes, because you've been making a lot of great changes. And anybody out there that thinks differently really needs to reflect, because I have been on several of those interview or those surveys, and the stuff that I could specifically point to that I asked them to do, they did. Now, does that mean I made the influence? No, because I'm sure other people. What I'm saying isn't unique to the game. It's something that all of us players feel are a problem. Today was mostly about the stores because you don't see it from the store's perspective. But I know as a player, if you want to look from the player's perspective, how disappointing it is to want to be a part of these events and realize that my app wasn't working. I didn't have time to log into the system at that time. I didn't have the ability to get into it. And now I can't play in these events. And that kind of like disappointment can lead to another disappointment, and then can lead to them quitting the game. And you could potentially be losing people that way. It is a very feasible, it's an unmeasurable, because these people don't talk, they don't communicate, they don't say anything, they just quit. They're quiet quitters. The quiet quitters are the dangerous ones to your company. They're the ones that they're going to cause the most amount of damage. Because those are the statistics you can't account for. Apathy and uncaring will be your greatest downfall because you cannot prepare for the people who don't say anything about your product, but you can for the ones that do. And while I have a voice, and while the rest of you have a voice, and you should be filling out the surveys, ask them to improve a little bit so the game can get even better for all of us. Because I think this is going to be one of the games that's going to survive so long as the company keeps doing the right thing and making the changes necessary. As for One Piece, of course, we're asking you to print more, but find that fine line for us, if you could, please. Find the way to get the scalpers out, but keep the players in, and make the product available. Because we're all desperate to play the card game, and we all want to be a part of the One Piece and the hunt for the One Piece. And we want to be there. So I want to say thank you to Bandai for always looking out for us, for listening to the surveys, taking those things seriously. But remember that no matter how good you are as a company, you're never perfect. You're never going to be perfect. But the strive to perfection is what's going to make you stand out above everybody else. And that goes to you too at home. It's not just big businesses. It's not about being perfect. It's the strive to try to be as best you possibly can. Because the person that doesn't quit and the person that keeps going at it is going to be on that national stage this year. And that person's going to be holding up the trophy, $25,000 prize card, mats that the world will never see again, and experiences that rare people get to experience. But those people that didn't give up, the ones that kept going, that kept trying, they're going to be the successful ones. Works in business, works in life, works in everything, guys. Don't give up. Stay to it. If you lose a couple, learn, grow, get better, and become the player that you want to be. All right, we're going to get into some card reveals here at the new One Piece card reveals. There are a couple things I want to talk about some of the new stuff dropping. I'm super excited. I may even break my rule about just playing red, because I've been in so many different card games, and I've always been, I play red, and I like red. I like red as a color. I like it as like, it's really good. But the newest one coming out, I don't know if you guys have seen, Porcastiace is not looking good. That deck is not looking that great. And there is a deck that is looking super fun that I'm super excited to play, and I don't think it's a deck you're thinking of. Let's get the card reveal. Moby Dick is one of the first reveals, and no, that is not the deck to which I'm referring to. New card reveal on play. If your leader has a Whitebeard type pirates, look at the top 3 cards from the top of your deck and add 1 card to your hand, then place the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. Nice little stage searcher. But activate main, you may trash this stage, give it to 1 rested Dawn to your leader and 1 to your character. It's a really nice 1-cost searcher. It's a really nice utility card, and I like this. It is going to be just locked into the Whitebeard pirates, but as we've seen in this card game, searchers are becoming more and more important as we build to more consistent decks. Next, yellow event, rare 8-cost, the 7 Warlords of the Sea. Main, if you have 10 Dawn cards on your field, play up to 1 Marshal D. Teach from your hand. Okay, so this is I Am Whitebeard for for Teach, of course, because it needed that. Then your opponent adds 1 card from the top of the life cards to their hand. No, this is not the deck I want to play. Oh my gosh. This is the first time I'm reading this, guys. This is literally the first time I'm reading this. This isn't even what I want to talk to you about the new cards. I just read this card. It's not even leader locked. It's not even leader locked. I'm going to pay 8 and you're just going to take a life. And if I want to, I could drop a blocker beard or the other new 10-cost beard. Why? What? Yellow? Why? Yellow doesn't need a power-up, Bandai. This is not critique like I was giving you before. This is critique as a player. For the love of God, stop giving yellow power-ups. Please. There are other colors. Like Curly said, red needs some help. I am drowning. I need some help. I'm getting killed by cards like Zahahaha. What am I supposed to do with this? Right, Kai? It's insane. Even Kai's upset. Kai, My HR manager is upset right now. Do you guys understand? And Hazelnut's more power, more for my Qualitech, more for my yellow. What is happening here? Why does this need to exist? Why? Where's the crying All right, there we go. I'll put the crying emote on this one. What the heck? Okay, here's one that I came here to talk about. Here's the one that I'm super excited for as a player that I want to get into. Michael Rack, I'm giving up. I don't. Michael, just play yellow. It's just play yellow. That's all you need to do, buddy. Like, it's just. Oh man, why is it so strong? All right, this is a card I'm super excited for. The alt here, by the way, is gorgeous. But Kazuki Mononosuke, black character, 9 cost, blocker, on play. If you play up to 1 land of Wano type card from with the cost of 6 or less from other than Kazuki Mononosuke from your trash. Sorry, it's taking me a while to get there. It's basically return a 6 cost or less from your trash. Those that have been paying attention to the to what's been going on with the Yamato deck, there's an extreme amount of really cool combos where you can get a 4-attack swing with this card alone. Now, it does require that you have the 6 cost and the 8 cost Yamamoto in the yard, and it does require that you have the one that requires a Dawn underneath it, which I think is I believe it's I forget the name of it, but I know that you have to have a Dawn underneath it when you attack to get back. So basically, what happens here is you play this, you get the 6 drop from your yard that comes as a 5k. You get to get a rush because of leader ability. You let it attack, then you get to return the 8 cost from your trash by sacking it. That one then gets rush, gets to attack in. The one with the 1 Dawn gets to trash the 8 cost after the attack to then bring back the 6 cost to attack for 5 again if you don't have any Dawn to give out. Maybe you have 1 Dawn because there's a lot of cycling here because it's a 9 Dawn turn. And then you get to play the 8 cost again. So you get essentially 1 card has to be out, which is just that the 5 cost with the 1 Dawn underneath it. You guys got to help me out here. But you get to attack with Yamato 4 times in 1 turn by playing this 1 card. So long as you have the 6 and the 8 cost in the yard. And, of course, you have the other guy that requires a Dawn attack. That's a lot of swings for 1 turn. That's pretty impressive. That is doing what Red loves to do most. Red loves running. Like, loves just swinging. So this card in itself is insane and exactly what I was looking for to make this deck just tip over into a very competitive play. Now I'm super excited. Not only because I'm a huge Dragon fan, but this is awesome. This is great. I'm going to be building this. I'm going to be running Yamato, and I'm going to break my rule of only playing red to play Yamato. This deck just looks amazing. And I'm going to be chasing that alt-art leader when the set releases in June. Uchiha says, not giving up is the reason I'm heading to my second regionals. Excellent. Uchiha, I'm sorry I missed that because the timing of that was pretty good. Yes, never give up, guys. Never give up. Ooh, we got some more releases here. Got some alt arts here for the 6,000 power Ace and Luffy, which is not 8k, which is what they need to be. Here's an 8k from Marco. Good alt art. I like it. The deck's still not strong enough. 10k. Which doesn't work in the deck because it has to be exactly 8k for the deck. But a really good art for Whitebeard. That's really awesome. Moby Dick that we just read. Alt art in here. I believe these are all from the star deck. Oh, wow. Boa is looking good. This one's looking good. Are these SPs? Just SRs? Ivankov looking good. These are really good arts. I like this. These alt... Gosh, they always outdo themselves with these alts, guys. Look at the quality of art here. It's fantastic. This scene is amazing from Impel Down. Love this this whole interaction. I'm not building the green, but Impel Down looking really good. And of course, here's the Buggy package of the Impel Down here. A lot of Buggy fans out there going to like this. They did such a good job with Buggy here. Look at this. This is the best this man has ever looked. Ever. Like, Mr. Choose looked good in a lot of different ways for different reasons. But this is really good. The alts are so good. They're popping. This is what happens when you invest in these card games. They just get better and better. Curly says, I hope it works for you, man. Yamato looks like a red deck in disguise. It really does, Curly. That's the reason I'm kind of like really torn to wanting to play it, because it plays like I like to play the game. Lose fast, win fast. Let's just have some fun. It's just about having some like all out, like let's go, let's get this going. And it might be one of my downsides to it, because sure, I should take some time to actually enjoy the game and but it's win fast, lose fast. I only have so much time, guys. I got a full-time job during the day. I got a full-time job in the evening, helping out the store, doing the content creation. Then I got editing. Then I got all the rest of the stuff on my plate. And of course, I got to take care of all my other personal stuff on the side. Busy dude, really busy dude. So if I can play a game real quick and just have some fun, awesome. Let's do it. And have more time to socialize and converse with people in between rounds. Now we're cooking. Well, here's the trio for the that Sengoku deck here, where they drop all three of them. That's actually really look fire. These look fire. If I honestly, and I hate this guy the most, I really hate this guy, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys. His is the best. I am like, as I don't like him as a character. I'm a Kuzan fan out of the trio, obviously. Borsalino's got a lot of love coming in the newest, from the newest edition that Egghead, but I'm not going to spoil anything. Sakazuki, I don't like you. I do not like you. But this is fire. This is absolute fire. Credit where credit's due, even though I don't like you. Ooh, boy. Now here we're talking. Now we're talking about the card combos. I believe this is the card I'm talking about in the alt art form here. It does it say down times 1? Maybe it's covered up. No, it gets +3. I don't see the down times 1. Maybe this is the card I'm thinking about. But here's Yamato in the flesh. Here's Mononosuke in dragon form, looking awesome with Yamato on top of his head. These are sick. I'll be chasing these for sure. And finally, Blackbeard, because of course. Because of course we needed more Blackbeard cards. We needed more hate. We needed more yellow power because Blackbeard wasn't strong enough. It wasn't strong enough, guys. It was already insanely overpowered, but now it's stronger because it needed to be stronger. Because reasons. Why? Why do you hate us, Bandai? See, ooh, some more SPs. Is that the Shigi again? All right, seriously. Up here. Eyes up here. Who's paying for this? Tashigi is a fine character. A fine character. It's fine. Great. Got love. I'll give it to it. Baby 5 hasn't had an SP yet. I'm still waiting. This is like our 4th or 5th SP. Who is paying for this? Who? Oh, I might pay for it too. I'm not going to lie, Curly. I might pay for it too. But who is paying to put her on an SP? What underground shenanigans is happening that she needs another SP? This is gorgeous. Poor Gastiers, you and my bro. We're good. Girl, you've had enough. There are other women in this game. Can Baby 5, please, for love of God, get some love out there? Please. All right, here we go. Cavendish, the one that draws a card. That's super cool. And then we got the Katakuri that restands itself. That's a really cool SP. These are neat. I like these full arts. These are pretty good. Kuma, because, well, we did need another reprint. Nico Robin, Miss All Sunday. This is so good. This is so good. All right, I'm a big fan of these. These are good. This, I was telling people back in the day that this is what needed to be encapsulated into a card. This punch right here is quite possibly the greatest punch in anime history. I have watched so much anime, but this is by far like one of the greatest punches in anime history. And those that haven't caught up to the anime, I'm sorry, you're missing out. This is so good. Of course, Z does have its own alt art because reasons. I now know how to write Oh, the Dawn. Okay. Impel Dawn. Gold. What we got? 2 more in here? 3 more. All right, 3 more cards. Then we're going to go for break. If you're coming with me, kiss your lives goodbye. 0 cost. 4 Emperors, Whitebeard, main. If you may rest 1 of your Dawn cards and reveal 1 character with 8,000 power. Again, with this 8,000 static. Like, they better be making those things 2Ks. From your hand, draw a card. Okay? Great. I got to give you evidence of my 8K. That's probably going to be a brick, which is going to be fantastic for me to let you know I have a brick in my hand so I can draw a card. Encounter, you may trash 1 card from your hand up to 1 of your leader cards gets plus 3,000. So we lost Bad Manners Kick Course. This is a nice replacement for it. It's decent. But of course, you're not going to get the main unless you're playing the Porcastiers. Gum Gum Hammer Rifle here. A 1 cost from Impel Down main. If you have Monkey D. Luffy and a Mr. 3 Galdino, up to 1 of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 6 or less will not become active for the next refresh phase. Alright, so I get this. It's only 1 to freeze a character, but you do have to have both of these up. It says and, so both these characters have to be out at the same time, which makes sense because this is the when Mr. 3 put the wax gloves on him. And it has a counter up to where your leader gets plus 3,000. This isn't bad. I think this is probably going to be pretty good for Impel Down. It's probably only going to be this, but it's going to be very situational. And you're going to want to make sure you get this, because I like the idea that you don't have to pay additional, like just 1 for this ability here, but it makes sense because that restriction's pretty heavy. And finally, in card reveals, main, you may rest 2 of your Dawn cards. If 1 of your opponent's characters has been KO'd this turn, set your Yamato leader as active. What? What? You may rest 2 of your Dawn cards. Okay, this costs 3. If your opponent's character has been KO'd this turn, set your Yamato leader as active? I get double attack Yamato? Yamato gonna be looking so good. So good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this, guys. Yamato looking real good. That's going to do it for the card reveals. I've got about 30 seconds before the ad starts. We're going to let that ad roll out here in just a minute. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got 4 rounds of content. Stay tuned for some great content. I'm going to add the names to the wheel. Don't forget to hit exclamation point join for your chance to win 1 of these 2 free packs on YouTube or on Twitch. And we'll be back. Thank you so much, Alex Sfertz. Good to see you. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, our first round. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
to the sun with me, so I can show you something you've never seen. And both you and I shouldn't be too shy by letting go for once. Come and be free with me. Just look straight ahead, don't you stay behind, don't stay behind. Trying to make you feel right, 'cause our stars are aligned. Can I make up your mind? Follow me to the light, there is so much we can do in this life. Let it sink in, this is where we begin. All that you need to know, now that you understand what I'm trying to show you, is that you and I shouldn't be too shy by letting go for once. Come, let your spirit glow. Just look straight ahead, don't you stay behind, don't stay behind. Try to make you feel right, 'cause our stars are aligned. Can I make up your mind? Follow me to the light, there is so much we can do in this life. Let it sink in, this is where we begin.
Welcome back to Humble Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and we're about to get started on our second night. 4 rounds of this event, 3 of them in the event. For all these players that attended, they got 3 points for attendance and 3 points per win. So every time you see someone winning on camera tonight, they're going to be walking away with 3 points. The good news also is this is table 1. So that means later on, you're going to know that they've gotten 3 points prior to getting to this seat. So that person in each round is going to have an additional 3 points added on for each win coming forward. So if you guys want to play in your head on the idea of where some of these people might sit, we're still waiting for Chris to post his current standings. And when he does, I will be talking about those standings and probably be going that over with Porter this coming Wednesday when we cover Tuesday's event for night 3 of this championship series 7. I'm going to get myself into these deck lists. We're going to get into some amazing gameplay. And I want to let you guys know that, yes, I am paying attention. I am doing some research on my own. I've been watching some of the videos. And I get to see these little tools where it tells me where you guys skip and what you guys watch when you're on YouTube. And it gives me a lot of good feedback of what kind of content you guys enjoy and what kind of stuff you guys want to see more of. And honestly, when it comes down to the deck picks, people are skipping. People are skipping. And I get it. Because in One Piece, a lot of the decks like, okay, yes, I get it. You got the deck list. I can take a snippet if I care about it. We'll see how the deck does. And most of us know what the cards do. And I'm going to start with this. I'm going to be working with my casters to try and speed up our process of doing the deck tech coverages for you guys. So when I go over these things, I'm going to talk about some neat little one-ofs or something like this neat niche kind of cards that some people do and don't play with, and maybe even give you some feedback with some help from other bigger players too. That'll be like, you know what, this one works out better in my play pattern. I've seen this one do more work, and maybe help you out if you're at home trying to build your own deck and trying to come up with your own deck strategies. The deck list will be posted, obviously, on my Patreon for free. I updated the list just recently here because I had 2 of the lists that didn't get to me in time to go live, but they did come while I was live. So I updated those lists, and I updated my Patreon account accordingly. So I do appreciate your patience with that. If you want to become a Patreon member, absolutely, you can join for free to get the deck list. Got a lot of really cool content on there and a lot of cool stuff coming soon with that as well. So I would definitely join it. I do like to give shout outs at the end of my stream of all the people that are helping me on the Patreon account. If you want to contribute to the channel, it goes a long way. It's what helps me pay for all these free packs. And talking about free packs, make sure you hit exclamation point join. Anytime I go live and you see me on here, I'm giving away packs in the actual IP to which I may be covering, so long as the store has any in stock. Or I have a community box like this one. This one's coming from our community box. I'm really super excited. We're waiting for the next hit to come out, and it might be tonight. Without further ado, let's get ourselves into round 1. Blue Yellow Nami from Xander the Dragon, as he's been updating this deck list over and over against Eli and their choice of how they chose to make Penel. And we're going to take a look at those lists right now. Starting off with Nami and Xander the Dragon's build. I really enjoy what he's been doing with this. Now, he was one of those players that had to took a little bit for him, honestly, to start getting the Barcelinos, because these things were so expensive. The Namis are really expensive, so it took him a while to keep building it, but he's been sticking with this deck since day 1. And there's a whole lot of things that, like, he kind of makes some small tweaks and changes from the last time he was here, and it's really just what Blue Yellow Nami wants to do. For those that have not seen this leader before or understand what it's doing, Dawn attached, you get to discard a card for free on your opponent's turn and give this leader plus 2,000 power at the end of turn. So it's basically a 7k so long as there's a Dawn attached, and it makes swinging into this leader infinitely harder. Now, on your turn, if you or your opponent take a life card, you get to draw a card, so long as you have 7 or less cards in hand. So it's a really nice draw engine on top of it that covers the blue, and of course, the life figure with the yellow in here. Golden Bell Luffy is the MVP of this deck. Well, thank you. We'll talk about the Golden Bell Luffy here, too. One of the newer cards to this deck here. But thank you so much, Xander. Appreciate that comment. But yes, his deck really kind of standard. You got the anti-removal that most people should be playing, if as long as the effect is actually worth playing. Red, not so much. Not a lot of love with the red one. Minus 2k to your leader is just too powerful. We do have the Thriller Slop, but it is a very good Thriller combo. It even won our finals here in the actual namesake deck that the Thriller Bark combo actually was designed for. But of course it's in here because it is just that good of an engine. You got the 2Ks, you got the recursion, you got the cycles, and most people are playing a lot of mid-game stuff, so freezing stuff is really good. Kikanojo in this format, I 100% recommend it, so long as it's legal and you're playing against a lot of 4-life leaders, and most people take that free life all the time to get down to 3. It's almost always live. It's a 6k body, and you never want to kill this thing. It's everything you want in a package. Now, the MVP to which he was talking about here is the Bell Luffy here. If you have 6 or more Dawn cards on the field, this character gains Rush. So basically, if you're on the even turns, which you want to be with Nami a lot, But you have 6, you get a nice little rush character. And when your opponent activates an event or blocker, reveal it to 1 card from the top of your life cards. This character gains plus 1,000 during this turn, 1 per one cost on the for each 1 cost that was revealed in the card. So if they're using a 2 cost event card, of course you're going to get plus 2k, and this is pretty sick. It really makes you like you debate on whether you want to use a blocker, because it can really fight through quite a bit, and the stronger of course the blocker is, the easier this thing can fight over it, which makes this thing just an absolute house if you have to use blocker to get around this thing. It's more than likely going to get to the combat, and you're not going to be able to defend out of it. I can definitely see exactly why he likes this Monkey Luffy. It's really strong. Of course, we have the blue good stuff. Of course, the Blocker Beard's one of the best blockers out there. 10 costs. I mean, it doesn't even have Iron White Beard. It's still paying the massive cost of having a 12k blocker that you can eventually turn into an offensive swing in the late game, so as long as you're out there. Only Doombot, thank you so much for the exclamation point join. And of course, the rest of the package is pretty standard for this deck. I like the Silver's Rayleigh. That's not that standard, but it's still a really good add. And you have all the things you want to see in yellow. The attack and the life cards. You have some removal if necessary, and if not, they're nice little 2Ks. And the one you got to be always prepared for, the Sanji that makes cards unblockable, which is absolutely disgusting. So you can pair well with this Monkey D. Luffy on a certain turn. So got to be careful with this. They drop this late game and get the last swing in. It could be lights out. And you gotta respect it. Never let yourself get down to 0 and think the blockers are going to protect you for the last little bit. Got to leave that one up there just in case. Now going into Eli's list of his look, let's look at the Enel list that we have here. Enel is right now a very dominant, and excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm getting interrupted here in chat. Really is good in Red Green Luffy, plus Cavendish is in Lucy, and Dog and Enel. That makes sense, actually. There are a lot of good things that Rayleigh does help answer in the meta today. So I agree, Xander, that Rayleigh is a really nice, clever pick for that deck choice. And it's one of the cards I don't see enough of personally. And as a fan of Rayleigh, big fan of Rayleigh, I do recommend, and I appreciate that ad. But getting into Eli's list, they're trying to put something together here and trying to learn this deck. And a lot of respect goes out to people who pick up the deck. They don't really, they're trying to learn while playing the game. And as I've had the luxury of playing Eli, I've had the luxury of watching them play. It's been really entertaining to see a different take on it and see what's going on. It's been always difficult for me to kind of analyze exactly what's going wrong, because the only thing I could tell them was, well, usually when I play P&L, they're playing solitaire, and you're not playing solitaire enough. And that was the best advice I could give them. It's just you're not playing solitaire enough. And I can see some different things in deck choices here. I love that they're still in the Holly. I think it's a very good card. I still think it's good, but most P&L players that have been playing, it's just not enough. That double damage is just not enough, which is crazy to me, considering it's just so necessary in this yellow heavy meta to have a double attack on Shura and on the Holly. Like this 2-card combo is absolutely gross, especially when you can give this thing rush and use that Enel cycle combo to start bringing out extra Dawn and basically playing with 12 Dawn a turn after turn 2. They're still playing with the 6-cost blocker Enel, which I've liked. But if you look at like the refined list, like most of them cut this card from the list because it's just not enough, which is crazy to me, because it's a 10k body that already is like a menace with a secret rare. But somehow, I guess Frankie playing more of the senior pink heavy package here to get recursion of all these incredible amount of events that you play in this deck that you really do want to cycle. Because as I was saying before, P&L is a deck that does everything, guys. It freezes, it KOs, it puts out unremovable targets. There's a reason this thing is out there, and is one of the more consistent decks, given it's so low at 6. It can only have 6 Dawn in its deck. It's so efficient for what it does. There's a reason why this deck has been doing so well. It definitely does reward high-level players. So if you're a player that really likes to push yourself to the next level, to challenge yourself with a challenging deck, P&L will be that deck that will reward you for mastering this deck and mastering the meta, and it over any other deck in the meta currently today. If you see someone piloting this, I know you don't like to see this deck, but honestly, mass respect to the people that try to learn this thing, because it is not an easy deck to pilot, even though it seems easy based on what you're doing. But the sequencing, the understanding how many events you have, When's the appropriate time to freeze? When's the appropriate time to pop? Those decision makings can make or break every single game. And in a best of one, it is ultimately more important that you make optimal decisions on every turn to ensure the best chance of your victory. Braindead says losing a card in hand is not worth it for the blocker now. So I guess that is what the reason why most people are just like, I can't afford to lose any more cards, even though it is a 10k body. And Braindead says, unless you are playing more aggro build of the deck, you don't want to run a brick that doesn't generate you advantage. Great analysis, Braindead. Thank you. That's why we have him on the cast. But this is the deck, Eli. You have your feedback if you'd like to change to opt, and we do have another Anel list on my Discord that you can check out if you'd like to upgrade to what is considered the more optimized list as this thing's been moving towards the tournament season. Definitely check it out. It's really good. But on to the gameplay between these two Titans. Eli Xander head-to-head, starting off. Life out. We're going to find out who goes first. Looks like Eli's on the play. Tapping one. I wonder what that's going to be. What? Sorry, I'm trying to make the start-stop go away here. All right, start off with Shura. Obviously, Rush not going to mean anything in here anyways, but that's still nice. It looks like the one drop. I think I would prefer a Searcher, but I don't think Eli had one on this one. So, not a bad start. At least we're getting utilization of the Dawn, which is what you want in your early turns plays here. You do want to maximize some kind of leverage here. Really feels bad in the first couple turns if you don't advance your board state whatsoever to keep the tempo in your favor, unless your deck's absolutely needing to do that. As we're seeing from Xander, no one drop here, so we're just going to go into the Nami, attach the one to make sure that, if necessary, we can make this a 7k, which is going to be actually really relevant in this matchup. If you looked at most of the cards and you understand how this thing plays, most of those 2k bodies turn into 6k bodies, and when swinging in a Nami, you're only going to, you're not going to have a whole lot of allocation for Dawn to get higher than most 6k swings, which means you can pretty much negate all the swings from this deck outside of the 6-cost Anels just on that swing, just on that alone. And if you watch this deck enough, you see that there's a lot of times where it's multiple 6k swings that end up winning the game, but against Nami, one simple discard can just stop their entire turn. And sure, it does allow you to draw for a turn, of course, which is not like like the pudding here is a nice little searcher, but of course most of the purples do have the Dawn -1 to search it, basically draw an additional card. But it looks like Xander's already going to use that Nami leader ability here, given a +2k with the discard of Borsalino. That's a valuable pitch right there, but clearly Xander has something else for his turn here. But this nice little blink here, you notice that he attached the 1 for the 6k, knowing darn well that he's going to activate leader ability, attach 4 rested Dawn of the Shura, which is essentially going to just negate that attack altogether. Now, it does have the opportunity to attach the additional Dawn, so now all of it in this swing here, going to 7, now requiring him to, Xander to take the life. This one I think I would take. You don't want to give up too many cards early in the game, and you do have another Borsalino. Dang. No wonder you discard the first one. But one of the things that I've noticed from Xander, doesn't like to take life too early in the game. And really, he doesn't have anything in the yard to recur for the Thriller Slop just yet. So obviously, it would have been more optimal if he would have gotten some kind of Thriller Slop target in the yard first to start those things. But some of the triggers, quite beneficial in this deck. We'll see. I think, honestly, against 5-life leader, probably trying to pressure down to at least 3 to guarantee all of his triggers are live and having something in the yard is probably a good choice here. But you don't want to give up too many cards here, and it's really going to be on Xander here to start getting the yard filled. And never forget, the triggers can be those cards you're looking for to add to the yard to get that cycle going. Here's our first pick off the top here. Going to get things started with the Hogback. And now we have one piece of the engine ready to go. On KO can bring something back. So it's going to be on Xander having something in the yard. Another reason while taking life in the situation could be of some benefit to get some targets to get this engine going, and the Thriller Slop engine. Back to Eli's turn. All 6 Dawn available here. And a perfect play with the secret rare Anel here. Starting off with a Dawn minus to get the search on. Get an additional card in hand. Searches for anything. Absolutely disgusting. On top of that is going to be a 10k body that you cannot remove. Absolutely devastating. Thank God this thing doesn't have rush. And Xander giving it an extra look. Love the top of your head, Xander. It's beautiful. Beautiful. This man is adding beauty to my channel, and I really appreciate it. But yeah, it looks like we're going to have at least 2 6k swings coming in here. Could go for 7 again if Eli wants to put it out that way. But given that we don't have any attached Dawn underneath the Nami yet, this would be a turn where we're probably going to have to end up taking those things if we don't have enough 2Ks to counter out of those 6K swings. Hoping to go forward that we're going to constantly see a Dawn attached underneath his Nami to make sure that Xander can protect his leader as best as possible. Yeah, girl, I know. So, a little bit of questions, seeing what's in the yard. Eli's just checking to make sure that there's no viable targets here. But it looks like we're going to start on the, I believe this is the rest event here. And realizing that there were no targets here, might have an opportunity to kill this hogback, which is actually going to be more beneficial for Xander than you realize. Given that Xander doesn't have anything in the yard yet, sure, you missed that trigger, but that does mean that given Xander has a thriller trigger in yard, or I'm sorry, in his life, he'll then have a target. So this is an actually easy give up. I would highly recommend just giving this swing up. Okay, Dr. Hogback. Oh, okay. What? That can't bring back Dr. Hogback, I don't think. Don't think you can cycle the Hogbacks. I think I would let this one go. And right now we see Xander's trying to explain what his leader does and where it gets that opportunity and helping Eli figure out the proper move here. Personally, I would definitely just take this one, let this one in the yard, and start my combo with having something to cycle back. But here comes 6. Let this one go. There we go, on KO. Looking like he was able to get the Dr. Hogback back, which is interesting. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Girl, one of the key pieces of this. Xander going to go up to 6 Dawn here. Now we're going to have the engine necessary to make sure that Nami is always going to be having that 7k ability, but we got to manage this right. Looks like we have some 7 cost, a 10 cost girl, and I can't make out what the other one here. I think that was a Dr. Hogback on the side here. But Xander should be pretty well set now having the Thriller Slop engine in the yard. Here comes a simple 5k. Asking for 1. He has it. It looks like Rayleigh is the other play. So this is another one of those turns where, unfortunately, he would have to tap out if he wants to get this out. And it looks like that is going to be the decision. Nope. Thinking about it twice. Nope. And coming back to it. Rayleigh the play. Getting another body out there, which is very good. Adding some tempo. And now that Xander has something in the yard to keep his engine going with the Thriller Slop engine, should be ready for the rest of the turns to make sure his leader's at 7k. I can actually see from the hesitation from Xander there that he didn't really like this play, given he wasn't able to get his Nami up to 7k for this turn. But his yellow likes to do it, can survive in the life. We're going to see if that life is going to pay off. Next couple turns going to be absolutely devastating given how many Robins he has in hand here. So Eli better start watching out. We're going to be seeing some massive heals and massive damage potential and bodies that you just do not want to swing into. Those that might be new to the game, Robin's ability on KO, specifically on KO, can cost you the game if you have no life. And I'm not talking personally here. I'm just saying if you have no life cards out there, and you kill Robin, that's game over. That point of damage is one of the few cards out there that can actually end the game by making a poor decision. So those new players, watch out. And hopefully if you're out there and you guys are playing casually, let them know. Don't let them KO themselves. You don't want someone feeling that bad. But Eli's going to be looking at the rest of his turn here. Again, brand new. He's only played probably about a dozen games with this at this point. Still trying to master this deck. A lot of encouragement from me, honestly, for the dedication that Eli has towards this deck, to trying to learn this deck. Going to get back that rest event here with the Senior Pink. Gets an Actor Dawn. So we're still seeing the first part here. Now we're going to look into... is that a KO ability? I don't know if you have enough Dawn for that yet. But Divine Departure was the card that was revealed here. Card I'm very familiar with. I'm a big fan of Roger. That was a fun deck when it came out there. Very simple, easy to play, lose hard, win hard. Very, very good deck. Sadly, kind of power crept out. Meanwhile, the rest of us in red players are just dying for another good deck. Please, please, Bondi, can you give red some love? Just a little bit of love. Brain Dentist is not a fun deck. Only because, and you're biased and you know it, only because it was a deck that crapped on your best deck that you perfected. Ohm the play here. All right. Gonna Don minus to make sure he gets a nice little draw in here. Full board now for Eli. We're going to see how the triggers pay off. This is going to be critical for Xander here to make sure that he gets the right triggers at the right time. If he wants to get in. Here's going to come our first 6K swing. Into lead. Xander on the take. Does he have a trigger? No. Leo off from there. So does have a 2K to counter out of the next one if he wants to. The amount of times I've seen him get a blue non-trigger card of the first life, I don't know what it is with Xander, but I've had him on camera probably 4 or 5 times up to this point, and I've seen him get a blue non-trigger at his first out of life like every time. Here comes 6. Here's that Leo. You can play it if you want it. And he does. Gets the 2K from the swing here. And Nell's probably going to have to be a take, to be honest with you here. And Nell on the take. Do we have... It looks like Perona. No, it looks like the teddy bear maybe. Can get the... Yep, the teddy bear. Here comes his engine. Getting back Hog back rested. Eli's not going to be happy with that. Already having used the leader ability to get the Shura swing and the Nell swing. Senior Pink the play for the day. But we can freeze. We can make sure it's not a threat. So good on Eli recognizing that. Hogback has officially been frozen for the turn. Odd that they gave it to purple. Extremely odd that they gave it to purple. Got 2 life here. I think next turn's going to be a big difference here and a big difference maker here. Given now that we have the engine slightly, like a decent good portion of the engine going right now. And the heal that we're likely going to see with that Robin body coming out next turn. Along with Nami being able to have that protection. Things might be turning in Xander's favor. We're going to find out. But first, Eli's going to start doing some drawing. Get some searching. Doing some minusing. Here's the rest. Making it a 5K. Thank you, hey, little pound cake. Good to see you. Now going to rest it. Now are we going to freeze it? That's the question. I don't think we have any more swings, and I'm pretty sure we've already used the leader ability here. Another Don minus. Seeing Eli on Pinnell after the Calgara feels like a crime. It really does. But Eli's been doing a great job. Eli's been doing a fantastic job learning this deck. I'm proud of them. I really am. But yeah, with that, going to freeze both. So great defensive play here for Eli. And another Ohm body where we can Dawn minus to draw an additional card. I like the play here. This seems like a good turn to try to pressure. Eli does not know that we're going to be seeing Nico Robin very likely in this turn of the 8 Dawn turn. Ooh, there's a good tech card. Could be a winning card if he's not careful. But here comes 8 Dawn. Good turn here. Add a Dawn. Swing Nami. Play out the Robin. Get some health. And start living on a prayer in that lifeline. But here comes a 6. Asking for 2. Gets the 3. It's even better here for Xander. We'll see if Eli takes. Nope. 2K counter from the raid suit. And here comes Robin. Take a life, get 2. The Perona in the yard does seem like kind of bad, but honestly, I think that's a great hit. Ooh, and the 8 cost Gecko Moria. Going to see some awesome plays now that we have Perona in the yard next turn. And that'll pass out back to Eli. Still now sitting with a lot more swings here and potential. We got leader, got a nice little 10k Pinnell coming through. 6k from Senior Pink, and of course we can activate leader ability to get another 6k from one of these ohms, maybe even a pudding if necessary. We'll see which route Eli wants to take this one, but a lot of big swings here from Eli. The good thing I said about the one big difference maker here with this blue-yellow Nami, being able to discard, making a 7k body, makes it extremely hard outside of the Enel swings. And I'm not talking about the leader, I'm talking about the actual secret rare. That's only the one that almost seems kind of free. Everything else just seems like you've got to have a lot of Dawn investment, and it's not something that Nell likes to do in their decks. Don't like to spend a lot of that Dawn on attacks unless it's using leader ability to power up these 2k bodies. But 6k is just not going to be enough. Now, we do have the opportunity to put 4 in the Senior Pink so we can get 2 10k swings. So we could be seeing some massive swings here to try and punch through. But remember, now that so now that Xander's on the heal train, there's going to be even more of those triggers that Eli has to look out for. And right now, I really respect this. This is one of the things that you really should be doing as a One Piece player. Think your turn through. Think out how you're going to do this. Don't separate the Dawn, and most definitely do not put the Dawn underneath the character before you're able to swing with them. Like, you only attach the Dawn on swing, like right before you're about to swing. But stretch it out in your head and kind of think out the plays. Maximize the amount of decisions you're going to make, and think how you're going to how the attacks are going to go for this turn. And once you figured it out, go that route. Because sequencing is absolutely paramount in the One Piece card game. Starting off with the Ohm for a good draw to get the maximum amount of decision making. I like this. I'm sorry, sacrificing the pudding for this. For the Satiori. Dawn -1, draw a card, getting some more answers here. Another 2k body, but really this is just trying to maximize. Looks like we are going to activate leader ability. And here comes our first 6k swing. Looking to bait out the Nami ability. And on swing, of course, going to give -1000 to Dr. Hog back. Something I don't think I'd recommend hitting at this point, especially with the Perone in the yard. That would just be an easy pick to get Senior Pink frozen for the turn. And Gecko Moria discarded to get the leader ability at 7k. Now, decisions have to be made. Given there's only 2 more active Dawn, leader or Senior Pink. Obviously, Senior Pink is a better ad here. But we're going to do some reduction to the Hogback. Makes sense. Get the swing in. Attacking doesn't harm anything. And can get that reduction. And can give you a value swing for the Enel if you want to in late game. El Thor the play. I can't remember if that one's a kill event here. If it is the kill event, I think it is. I don't think that this is the sequencing you wanted to do here, Eli. Because this one's going to get back the Perona, which is going to freeze the Enel. Yeah, sequencing, absolutely important here. Sad to see it. That you want to get that swing in before you go into that removal here. That's why it's very important to get those things through, especially if you know the Perona's in the yard. The Perona's the best answer to Enel, honestly. But this one basically turned upside down to let you guys all know that at home that it is frozen here from the Perona effect. Definitely would have got my swings in before those attacks. We'll see where Eli's going to get. Now has one less attack coming through here. And really with just 2 open Dawn, can either push 7 with Enel, which is not optimal, but I would definitely be swinging 8 with Pink just to get something out of hand here. If not another life. And we know a Nico Robin could be in the future here. Another lightning. Gonna get ourselves a nice little draw. Looks like we're gonna try and freeze up that Rayleigh one more time. No, I'm sorry, -1000. Could be an additional swing into the Rayleigh to get the body off there. Dangerous play. But a play. Eli just looking to see, and this is the biggest problem with yellow. None of the targets feel good. None of them feel good in attacking into. They've always got some detrimental abilities, and when it comes to the Perona, you gotta always make sure the Perona is the last thing you kill. Because you do want to get it off the board, but you got to make sure it doesn't come to a detriment of losing one of your swings. And this Nico Robin is definitely not going to be an attack target. It's going to be something you're going to want to try to do something to try to freeze it if possible, or try to make it a non-answer. Because that KO ability can be absolutely detrimental in the long game. I think Xander is explaining the order and sequence in here. One of the really nice things about a community, we spend a lot of time talking to each other, trying to help each other out on good sequencing and plays here. Here comes 6. Can ask for 2 into the relay. Xander's going to let it go. And can go 7 to get 1. Got to get through those life triggers at some point. And, all right, the girl going to be the play. Makes sense. We're going to be at 10 Dawn. One of the best plays we can make right now is going to get that blocker beard online. One of the bigger hosers against this deck, to be real. Another Sanji, unblockable. Both copies in Xander's hand now. But optimal play here, definitely going to be the 10 cost blocker beard. Giving 2 to Perona, 2 to leader. So you're going to have a 7, a 7, a 7. 3 7s coming in with a 12k block on return. Capable of stopping the NL if it doesn't get loaded up here. Very good defensive play here. 7 going into senior pink, asking for some. I really like this play. One of the biggest weaknesses NL players have, they can't protect the characters as well as they can protect the leader. And here's that blocker beard. Draw 2, discard. Get those 2 rested Dawns attached. Gonna get, yep, the redundancy of the Sanji there. And mind you, it does have a trigger in it, so it is an optimal target here for the recursion this deck has for triggers. Borsalino, great blocker and healer if necessary here. We're going to get 2 underneath leader, 2 underneath Perona. 7k swings, just like the way you want to see it. Now, does he go board? At this point, I don't highly recommend going board here. Get the pressure, get them down to 3 life to make sure the Kikinojos are possibly alive. But Eli has just way too many 2Ks to really kind of put enough of a dent on removing those as attack targets. And they're not... Well, I mean, Ohm is pretty good. Don't get me wrong. And most decks you wouldn't have to worry about Holly. Eli could drop a surprise Holly, though. That could put Xander in a back foot. There's the protection. And pass back to Eli. Hopefully having learned from that one. Dropping a Holly right now would be absolutely devastating. We just saw them discard that. And imagine Eli's probably going to want to go quasi board here, but remember this 12k blocker is just a great answer to this 10k NL. Usually it's just a free swing for 10k. Now with blocker beard, just a free block. And imagine to think of a 10,000 power character could just be free blocked. Just disgusting. And just imagine we got that coming out in Blackbeard's coming out soon. So disgusting. Oh, it just racks the brain of how disgusting that's going to be. Eli going to take the time, think through the turn, get on him. Start off another. I swear, if Holly hits the field, I'm going to be freaking out. So many double attackers. All right. Use a Divine Departure. Maybe taking it back. Looks like they're taking it back. Xander might be telling him, don't want to KO the Perona. Not until you attack. And definitely don't want to be targeting that Nico Robin. It's going to hurt you more than you think. I do love the communication that's happening here on the table, though. It's really good between these players, making sure that they're letting them know all the cards that's out there, letting them understand all the effects. Papa Squizzer says, unfortunately, you can only realistically swing 1 ohm a turn for double attack. Yeah, that is the issue. Given that you only have 6 Dawn, there's only so many times you can do. Now, Papa Squizzer, I do raise you up on that. If Holly was out for the previous turn, because you're talking about right now it'd only be 1 realistic swing. But if Holly was out for the previous turn, there is a way, obviously, through the way leader effect and the way it works, to give 2 ohm attacks for double attack. The problem is Nami. So you're not getting the 6k attacks here, and Holly only gives a plus power to their base on the opponent's turn. So Nami is not the greatest to want to play Holly into, but would be absolutely devastating because there is a line for the P&L decks to have 2 ohm swings for double attack if Holly's out the previous turn, obviously. But absolutely right on the money with there, Papa. And Eli not necessarily in danger zone at 3 life. 3 to 3, still looking pretty even between these two. Eli hopefully recognize and remember what happened last time when he let the Perona come back from the Hogback KO too early. We'll know that if he wants to remove this Perona, he has to do it after he gets his swings out. Or at least that'd be the last swing of the day. Right now, I think optimally swinging a Nell, get the blocker bead rested, get that out of the way, and then force Xander to have to give up some more resources on the other swings. But getting that one out of the way, just absolutely necessary because the Perona is just going to freeze it if sequenced inappropriately. Okay, Gamma Knife. Ooh, are we going to go try and... I wonder if we have it. There is enough card combo to actually KO this blocker beard here. We could also make it just more difficult to block here, too. Down to 7k. Make that Anel swing a free swing. Papa says, yeah, you could drop 6 Dawn on an Ohm, swing 8, and then Dawn minus for the effect to swing 7. But I think the real good thing about the Ohms here is that the 1k minus per swing. Now, that's absolutely going to be devastating right now. And I think we're going to start seeing them all being targeted toward this white beard. On swing here, we got a nice little 5k. Going to life, indicating minusing white beard here. Making that decision to want to reduce it any further, a little bit more dangerous. Now at 6k as a blocker, could be a free swing, but then that makes a Nell viable to swing into that blocker beard. I like the play here. Kind of taking the white beard out of the equation. And we know that there's likely going to be 2 more swings from these Ohms, reducing it by at least 2 more K. And given we have so many of these 2k bodies, it's just, it doesn't even feel that great to swing into this. That's where I like my Kobe deck, where my swings can just KO on these things on swing. Baba says, they might be looking for Mama Dragon, the Whitebeard. That's possible, absolutely. I think we're at 5k, so... Oh, no, we're at 6. One more. One more Ohm swing and we're live. But here came the 5 into it. We got the discard Robin to make sure the leader's at 7k. Still have leader ability. Looks like we are activating, but remember, the attached on are not rested, so it can only take the remaining and put them on rested here. It's going to be 4k on here. Just, I think I would have put those under a Nell. They're not really doing anything here. But now Blocker Beard at 5. Can officially be frozen if we have the card combo. But if we do, that means the Nell is going to be the only thing left to swing this turn. Mama Dragon could be our line. What is the swing on this one? Is this a cycle effect? Forget Satyori's swing ability here. Yeah, it's a cycle. Kind of like Scry. Get a Scry 2 here. Yep, look at the top two. Put them top or bottom. Yep, thank you, Papa. It's been a long time since I've seen that one. That one doesn't seem to see in a lot of decks here. I've seen Satyori get cut out of more of them than I've seen them see play. That's right. It's a Scry 2 on swing. We're going to get a nice little search from the pudding here. We still have another Ohm to maybe reduce the Whitebeard even more if we want to. Or if we want, I mean, we can KO the Perona on our last swing with Leader. There's a rest. See it. There it is. Absolutely. I imagine we might probably see even an L swing into it. What do we think? I'm thinking Nell's going to swing into this thing. Getting Blocker Beard off the field is absolutely paramount for these Nell decks. Blocker Beard is an absolute offensive engine here. Here comes 6 and a 5. Asking for a 2. Now, if I remember correctly, the Sanji is the 2K. They could counter out of this thing, but it is going to stop his unblockable. And he's got the Bell Luffy's in hand here. There we go. A Nell into this one I'd let go. Yeah, you got to let it go. Not a bad play for Xander here. Especially knowing we're going to have a Rush Bell Luffy coming in here. For some massive swings. And making... Oh, the interesting interaction here is those events that are 0 cost for plus 1k. They don't give them a bonus. They don't give them a boost. Oh, another Blocker Beard. Do we want to do this again? Do have the option. It was good last turn. It could work this turn too. A lot of resources were spent from Eli to get rid of the last Blocker Beard. We could go with the Bell Luffy to close out, but personally, I like from Xander's play here, get out the Whitebeard, get 3 7k swings coming into life, have that Blocker Beard and make Eli have to deal with it. Here comes 7. Then after that turn, Bell Luffy, close out with swing. We got the draw based on leader ability here. Yes! Here comes Blocker Beard with the draw discard. Gonna add 2. Xander in a very comfortable position now. Eli had to spend a lot of resources to get a lot of the... I don't know if he's going to be able to do it again. Yeah, Papa, you're right. Another one is absolutely devastating, especially after having used so many resources to get rid of the last one. Xander says, wasted as many resources as possible with my second Whitebeard the next turn with Luffy. Absolutely great play. That's exactly what I was thinking. You got yourself a Rush Luffy. You got yourself in a better position. You're going to get as many cards out of hand here. So many different 7k swings. Eli already down to 1 life. Now against the back of the wall here, Nami he's got plenty of bricks to give for the Nami ability for the 7k. And Nell out there going board, obviously not optimal at this point. And Eli sadly with just 1 Nell. And a lot of resources wasted there. I think Bell Luffy might just be the closing game for this. We're going to find out. Got the attached on, so now Divine Departure can work. Reducing it. So we got reduction to 8k, putting it back down to 2, or back down to 4. Making it sort of a non-bow issue here, but Xander at a very healthy for 3 life. Does not need to activate the blocker if he doesn't want to. Of course, Eli could be looking to freeze it. Yeah, there's the Divine Departure, right? It's going to help. It's going to help. But does it get him out of the situation? Because I don't think Eli can put up enough swings to get through 3 life, especially against yellow. To power through this, and if Xander's smart, just don't block with this unless they have the card to freeze it. You still got so many resources from last swing, and we have that Bell Luffy coming out next turn. El Thor would be goated here. Oh, agreed. Xander, hey, you're blessing us with the presence there, Xander. I appreciate it. Thank you for letting us see that beautiful dome of yours. I appreciate it, Xander. All right, swing, get the reduction for 1K. We might actually get Blocker Beard to 0. Can we get Blocker Beard to 0? I think that would be an accomplishment in itself. Oh, here we go. El Thor, as you predicted, Papa. And Xander out there is like, there you go. We got rid of Blocker Beard. But that's going to be so many more resources. That's 2 Blocker Beards in a row. And Eli having to spend good 5 cards. I'm making that up. It's like 3 or 4. 3 or 4 cards each time just to get those Blocker Beards off the field. And Xander in a good position to close this game out next turn. And Papa Squizzard, you're right. That is such a great combo. But so late in the game here, playing against 3 life, it's going to be really difficult for Eli to power through this. Oh, wasn't thinking about. Oh yeah, you weren't thinking about the O minus. That was really good too. That's why the card's so good. I mean, the minus reduction can really get you down to that necessary power level you need. And just believe he just took down a 12k power body to get it down low enough to make that KO the El Thor combo online, which is so much resources to get that happening. But he got it together. Looks like we're going to discard that Alt Art Gecko Moria to get leader up to 7k. Stopping the leader effect here. Here's another swing from Ohm. Going to reduce something. Okay. Nico Robin. Hopefully not. Don't attack into this. Don't attack into this. But here comes one of our bigger swings here from one of the Ohms. Reducing by 1,000, but are we attacking the Nico Robin? I hope we're not attacking the Nico Robin here. Oh, gosh. Pointing to it twice here. We have 7k, so this could be at life. Xander's got dad. It's all right, Xander. Just for you, I'm going to pause it for a couple seconds here. Papa Squared says, I ended the game against Xander and the other night via that Robin. Oh, I know. It's so incredibly powerful, Papa. Ad should be over here in just a moment. I'm doing this just for you. Everyone at home, remember, hit that like and subscribe button if you like this kind of content. It helps out a long way. Appreciate you. And hit up with the Patreon, guys. We got some great content out there. The links are all down below. Links in the bio. And our commercial should be good to go. We're going back into play. All right. Here comes a swing. I think Xander's asking, are you sure you want to attack into it? Yeah. That's going to take a damage. I hope Eli knows what they're doing. And Papa's in the chat saying, I ended the game. Didn't win it, but I ended it. I ended it. It's losing on your own terms, Papa. I love losing on my own terms. Here's a big swing here. All right, gonna kill this. Makes sense. But as we know back at home, yeah, freeze the pudding, why not? We know Xander has the Bell Luffy in hand. No blockers to speak of. Full Tendon. 5 costs for the Rush Luffy. Only need one of these swings to hit. And it's going to be lights out. Rush card in hand. Is like yellow just getting all the kind of rush now. It's absolutely insane. First, Julie Bonnie. Thankfully, leader locked. Now we got Bell Luffy. Why is red not seeing these cards? Why is it yellow is getting like these amazing red cards? It is red in the skies, people. Papa says, so I can't bear to see it happen to my Nell. And here comes the Bell Luffy. On play, let him know. If you use blocker events, he gets plus. But then again, it really doesn't matter because all those events are 0 cost. Big power swing for 9. 9 and 8 to play here. First one coming through. Let's see if Eli can defend. Likely going to see an AK swing if he can. All right, discarding 2 to get the 3. That's the 8. Needs an additional 2. There's a discard, and there we go. All right, does reveal the top, but all these are 0 costs. It's by the cost, isn't it? Am I reading that card wrong? I thought it was by the cost of the card, not the amount defended. Am I reading that? All right, hold on. Oh, it's the cost of flipped card. It's the cost of flipped card per event. Thank you. Thank you, Papa Squizzard. I'm losing my mind over here because I thought the 0 cost would be nothing here. But reveal the top life here. He used 2 events. That's plus 4K. Zeus is 2 cost times 1,000. Yep. It's 1,000 per cost for this life card. Sorry at home. Everyone at home that's screaming at me like, no, dude. Don't you even know how Bell Luffy works? Gosh. Oh, I can't believe I watch you. Here comes a 12K. I don't think Eli has it in him. I don't think Eli has it in him. Remember, every single time, using the events just makes him stronger. It just makes him stronger. Stop using the events. It's like feeding. It's like that cartoon where you're like feeding it power. It's like, I get stronger the more you hit me. And they're like, I'm going to keep hitting you. Like, no, there's no maximum here. You can't overload him. That's not how this works. We can't fill his capacitator to the maximum and get him to explode. That's not how the card works. Stop making him stronger. Congratulations, Xander. Great win here. Congratulations. Eli, keep up the good work. Seriously. Check out some other deck lists. Try to refine it a little bit more. Keep at it. I promise you, it will pay off in the end. I love the dedication. Seriously, stay at it. Stay at it. And great performance from both these players. Great game. Really enjoyed this watch. Awesome job. I've got to take a quick break here. We're going to get into the second round here very shortly. I just got the board set up real quick. We're going to get into the second round of this event. Then we're going to take another break, of course, after all this stuff. But we're going to take a quick break here. Give me some time, set up the board, get the wheel all set up. If you haven't yet, the exclamation point join for your chance to win to one of these 2 packs. You got to watch me live if you're on YouTube. Watch me live. Come in here for a quick second. Hit hi. Hit exclamation point join. Carry on with your day. It all helps my algorithm. I really appreciate it. But stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, next round of the events. And I got to figure out what that is. Let's see. Who's next? What are we watching? What are we watching? Ooh, Rebecca versus another Pinnell. Hey, Papa. You get to see Pinnell on screen yet again. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Humber Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and we're ready for round 2, the Championship Series 7. As we get into this round, we know both these players have won 3 points going into it. Now, the next one that wins this one is going to have 3 additional points on top of that. So, right now, fighting for 6 points total they've already earned, but it's fighting for 9 points because remember, attendance is 3, a win is 3. Every single one in that turn, and then those points get added up, and the points that you earn extra packs, extra promos, and when you put yourself in the running for the championship prize, which is a playmat that says championship on it, and massive big prize support with prize with a big box and whatever set, we don't know which one's going to be yet, and of course other just amazing prizes that we covered on the previous video. So you guys want to check out that YouTube video, go way back when Porter and I went over all the rules and stuff for this thing. There's a lot on the line here. A lot of these players can play for 8 weeks. They have 2 chances to get in each week to enjoy this on Tuesday and on Saturday. Tomorrow, of course, we're going to kick off night 3 of this event. Super excited. We're going to get into round 2, and this one's a fun one. I like this. We're going to have Porter on the camera here with Pinnell and his version of the Pinnell list. We're going to go over his list. I think it's really optimized. He's been studying the meta for quite a little bit, and this is the one that you're going to want to pay attention to for what Pinnell has kind of evolved itself into. Again, we're going to be going really quick with these deck lists now because I have been watching your statistics on YouTube. You guys skip through this stuff, so I'm not going to waste your time with it too much. But check it out. You guys can check it out. And of course, if you want to check out those deck lists, you can go down below to the Patreon, become a free member to get the access to those. You don't have to pay me for those deck lists. But if you want to pay to help out the channel, I'd always appreciate it. Also, if you watch me live, !join, one of these 2 free packs. We got some hopefully massive wins coming tonight. We're going to find out after this. But let's get into round 2 of this event. We have Blue Rebecca versus Pinnell. All right, so those out there, this was the sleeper deck, in my opinion. Most of us saw this and we're just like, nah, we already saw Usopp. We already saw this stuff. What's another leader that can attack? These decks always seem to be very, very weak. Oh, I hate it when the leader can attack and you already lose 1 swing. The effect has to be pretty broken. And this one on paper, when you look at it, you get to return a Dressrosa type character in your hand and then play a 3 cost from your hand. Did not seem great. Did not seem great. But then we got some access to some things and I started seeing some combos and I was like, you know what? There's some viability to this deck. There's some stuff. And by the way, this awesome like WinCon Dressrosa Sanji here that gives unblockable to Straw Hats, that's a Dressrosa type here. So this is something you can reuse and recycle with this ability, which is pretty disgusting. After looking at it, I was like, wait a minute, you can give a character unblockable for the entire turn? Ouch. Okay. On top of that, you've got these 4K bodies from Monkey D. Luffy, and you've got this one, Curios, which is key to this combo. Do anything, not just straw. Oh, I'm sorry, it does for anything. My bad. I always thought that was. Is that not Straw Hat locked? Oh my god, I thought that was Straw Hat locked. Oh, this card's insane. Thank God it's not a 2K like I thought it was. This is any card. Holy crap! All right, I said I was going to go short of these deck techs, but here I'm getting blown away because I thought this was I thought this was like typo locked. Good God! No, this is disgusting. And that's really what this card and Curios are really what make this engine draw. Like, it's insane. You get this one, it has rush. You can keep bouncing it back. We've seen it before on this channel. Constant recycling these things. It's not going to look good into like a 7K leader, but if you've got 5K leaders, this thing can really start putting in a heater with enough tax over and over and over again. Of course, you have the draw engine, you have some bounce effects, you have some stalls, some tempo swings for you, and you got this barrier pistol, which on main you can place one of your opponent's characters with 6,000 power or less in the bottom of their own deck. So you do have some pseudo removal if you want to. Possible here. Not a whole lot of discard engine going on, which is where you really want cards like this because there is so much anti-removal. But bottom decking is a great way to deal with a lot of those on-KO problems that a lot of decks have. And all around, not bad. I mean, the hand hate here from Isho, not bad. I really enjoy this. It's supposed to be up there for the Kuzan deck, but hand hate is definitely something we're going to need to see more, especially with the pudding ban. But all around, this is a red deck, in my opinion, in disguise. This should be red. This should be red. This should be red. Bondi, why are you making it blue? And then going into the optimized list from Brain Dead Porter Boy and the chain, or just Porter as we know him. We already talked about this in the last video. I don't need to go over it. This is an optimized list. This is something I want you guys to take home for yourself and how you're going to be building this thing. This is something where I really liked his decision making on keeping the Hollies up there, because the double attack in yellow metas is actually kind of relevant and something you had to power through all those triggers. I've been saying that for a while, and I think in this list, this is a really good list to put those in here. Brain Dead, you discredit yourself with that comment. You discredit yourself with that. And he's also saying blue is the aggro of color. It kind of is. I'm not going to lie. After Vivi came out, it really came the aggro of color. But as Brain Dead is out here, this is good, guys. This is good. I don't want to mess this up. Let me get into character here. 1 second. This is standard pink maxing. So if you would like to know the name of this list, it's pink maxing. And I want you guys to take that home. That needs to be clippable and you need to send it out there. Great line, Brain Dead. Great line. No, that's a testament to the leader in the deck. All right. I'll give it to you. That's a testament to it. There is a lot of different lists that you can run with this thing. I love I love Frankie in this deck. Pink at 3, very good. This thing does absolutely wonders in this deck. I love the switch that people have been moving to the senior pink in here. He is the most manliest man to ever live, by all means here. And of course, we have all the standard events that you want to have in here. I like this list. I think it's very optimized. I've seen him play with this deck. It definitely rewards players like Porter who like to think at the next level. And this is a deck, again, if you're out there and you want to think more about the game, this is the deck for you. And Porter says, I didn't come up with that. I heard that from, Kalakai. All right, well, it's really good that you're willing to give credit to the Kalakai out there. So I didn't know, but I thought it was great. And it says, also, buy his guide in the deck. It's very good. Oh, good. He has one out there. All right, well, if you have a link to it, I don't mind you putting in the chat. Right now, of course, I'm going to trust it. I'll let people know that they can trust it. But yeah, there is a deck guide for this. If you guys like big thinker games and big in One Piece, this is the deck for you. Check it out. It's paid. Oh, it's paid? Okay. Yeah. I don't mind shouting out other creators. If you're going to put some good stuff and good quality content out there, I'm not sponsored by these guys, but I will always recommend good stuff. Is that a Holly Dawn card? Am I looking at a Holly Dawn card? Porter, this is next level. Is that part of the guide too, that you need to make your Dawn into Hollies? Lithium over here with these gold Dawns blinging off cash like it's no one's business. And we have the most optimized Dawn here, Holly Dawn. There's 6 Dawn. Does he have all 6? That's a good question here. All right, the first play here, going to get out the Blue Gilly here just to use the leader ability to get nicely old 3 costs out. Said, oh, those are courtesy of Colin. Okay. Well, Colin, yes. Thank you so much, Colin, for this amazing Holly Dawn. This is so good. 2 Dawn here. We're going to get the Gamma Knife out. Looks like we're going to have some kind of answer for this Gilly, it looks. El Thor the play here. Porter just eviscerating this table already. And there goes Blue Gilly. Now activate leader ability. Likely going to get ourselves a swing from the Charlotte Pudding from last turn. And if I remember correctly, that was out there last turn. Yep. I was so distracted, but they're all Holly Dawn. Okay, 6 Lithium with the easy take here. Here comes 7. Another take from Lithium. Holy crap. Which one's the rush deck again? Okay, 3 to 5. No board here for Lithium. And also no rusher here. We do have the blocker Rebecca that is situationally a blocker. You have to have a Dawn attached to do it. Gonna get the unblockable Sanji online here. And another Viola search. Lithium trying to rebuild up here, but has no answers for these 2K bodies. Going for Kyrios. If he had, all right, another search here. I imagine he's looking for the 3-cost Kyrios, because I don't know if I've seen one yet here. Does need to get some attacks online here. Another unblockable Sanji. 1 Dawn up here. Still haven't activated leader ability yet. Nothing out to leak. Another search here. Still haven't seen a Curios yet. All right, here comes the Monkey D. Luffy 4 cost. This one can be a body you can get out. Yep, just going to swap the beard, but that's going to be a passive turn. And already at 3 life after all those searches. Porter in a prominent position. If we can see a drop down a Nell here, I think it's going to be pretty close for a Nell really just punishing this Rebecca deck. And Braindead in the chat saying this is very much a rush deck. I don't know. I've seen him play Solitaire so much it doesn't feel like it. I can understand what you're saying based on what we just saw, but I don't think I've seen an NL game that was this fast. Braindead says, why did the bounce back to Rebecca instead of the one of the 2K counters? That's a good question. I don't know if he was trying to protect the blocker, maybe want to use it for later, maybe valued it, or it was a rush play here. But yeah, getting one of the 2K searchers would have been probably optimal in that situation. All right. Well, not enough events to make this Vinsmoke Sanji a 7K blocker on his opponent's turn yet, but could easily get there. We do have the Shura Rush here. So we got at least one activation here. 4 Rested Dawn going in the pudding. I like this. 6K into life. Needs a 2. Gets the 2 from the Leo. Here comes 7 asking for 2 cards. Again, Lithium on the take, now down to 2 life. Porter at a healthy 5 has not been threatened yet. And obviously a good choice here going with Charlotte Pudding. Those who don't know, making that the attack knowing that all these Violas would probably attack into the Ohm and saving that for a later attack and using the utility, that minus reduction. Absolutely good choice here from Porter here. The Pudding, not so much. If he wants to waste an attack on that, whatever, it's gone. Just like that, it's gone. Doesn't matter. Get the 6K swing with a 2K body and a body you don't really care about. That's why I didn't use the Rush Shura, because there was no point at this point. Playing that out. We're going to get the blocker. Rebecca into the 3-cost Curios. Finally see that Rush Curios. Bounce to 2K. Here comes 5. Porter, the first take ever of this game. Now we're going to get 1 attached to get the Rebecca as a blocker live. Not enough Dawn left here to make the Luffy swing. And obviously the Cavendish just going to play. But at 2 life here, getting that draw engine just on turn 3 here, it might be too slow. Senior Pink to play here. We're going to get some recursion. Getting back the Gamma Knife here, which does get the 2 active, so we can play the Gamma Knife. So it looks like we do have an option to get rid of something. Automatically going for the Cavendish. Good call here. Want to get that draw engine offline here. El Thor, the follow-up play. There goes the Cavendish. Now, activate leader ability. Going to get a nice little 6K swing. Potentially another 5K swing if he wants to. There's only 3 events in yard at this point. So Vinsmoke Reiju does need 1 more. And Braindead said, did he not discard the Curios? Does he have to discard for the attack? I wasn't paying attention. I didn't see it either. This game has been going so rapid fast here. 6K swing in here for the Rush Shura. Asking for 2. Gets it with the Viola that was bounced back. Here comes 6. Asking for another 2. 2 1Ks from hand. Now the Ohm out to play here. And a pass back. Wow, Porter really demonstrating how much he's practiced this deck. Fastest turns we've seen yet with this Pinel. And we've done a lot of Pinel coverage on this channel here already. But now it looks like a 9 Dawn turn here for Lithium. Already kind of playing from behind. Optimal play, maybe getting the... But he's already discarded the Jozu, so we can't really bounce the blocker here. Viola going to get one of those Shuras out of the way. Not a big issue here. Braindead says he hasn't practiced at all. All right, now you're just bragging. Now you're just bragging. This is some rapid pace here for Porter here, for someone who's never practiced this game here. Here comes a 5K, easy on the take. Another 5K swing here for Monkey D. Luffy, asking for 1. We'll see if he gets it. Plenty of events give +1 from this deck. But is he willing to sacrifice them for that counter event versus using them for the main? He is. Gonna get that. Yep. Now that we have the 4, we got the plus 2K to the Vinsmoke Ragers. Now we have a free block on 7. Getting attached on to the blocker for the Rebecca. And Boa Hancock gonna bounce the bottom, that Ohm. Not that devastating given the current board state here. Activating leader to bounce the Curios. We'll see if we get the discard this time. Didn't activate the rush, so no discard. No, I didn't see it before. The Porter play in this deck is nothing more than a fool and a rube. I have been enlightened and have become twice the NL player. Porter has become enlightened. I like it. He's been getting better and better. I like the... I like that. All right, 6 Dawn turn here for Porter. 1 blocker to fight through. 2 life for Lithium. And Porter's been taxing the crap on Lithium here. Hazelnut says, I don't like that. I don't like that. There's going to be more PNL players. Sadly, this is going to be part of the meta, and even going into the next meta, it's probably still going to be viable as an option, so don't give up on this. It's going to be a deck you're going to have to learn. And one of the things I know you guys don't like to see the deck, but honestly, if you don't learn to see against and play against it, you're never going to learn. But here comes 6, asking for 2, didn't get it, automatic life here. 6, full Dawn here, available for swings. Here's 4, playing on another Reiju blocker for the plus 2k, given they have 4 events in the yard. Still have an activate main for the leader. Gonna activate the leader ability, get the 4 rested on the Ohm. Here comes into Monkey D. Luffy. Minus of the Monkey D. Luffy on the attack here. But got a 2k out of hand for the Gilly. Minusing Dawn. Looking to freeze. And 7k swing to finish off the turn. Gonna get the block. All right, double 7k blocker. Could be easily 2 free blocks if Porter needs to. 3 life. And Lithium just at 1. 10 Dawn, though. We'll see if he's got one of those gym bays to start trying to turn the tide a little bit in his favor. Hazelnut says Koala is useless into it, and I have to hope and pray on my side when it comes to NL. And sometimes that's how I felt against playing you, Hazel. So, I mean, I do feel bad for you a little bit. I mean, obviously as a friend, but as a player... That's how I felt when I was playing VV against you. Brandon says, honestly, I still think the Enel is still probably the best, probably BDIF NOP16. And said Jimbei does nothing. Reiju is a 9 cost, yeah. Oh, that's right, because of the increase of the cost here. Jimbei does stop the bounce here. Looks like we're going to get one. Are we going to get the discard? There's a discard for the Curios to get the rush. Here comes Unblockable now. Okay. 6k. Porter like, okay, I have 3. I'll take 1. Back to his turn. We got Blocker Sanji. On that turn, can Porter freeze it and go in for massive swings? I know Lithium spent a lot of resources getting to this point here. Hazelnut says, I'll just play Foxy. I don't blame you. And Pop, I agree with you. More Foxy. More Foxy. We need more Foxy in this meta. Bring out the Foxy. All right, Porter actually slowing down for the first part of this game. I think he's actually thinking. He's done so much so fast. I feel like this is the first time that Porter's like, you know what? I'm going to think this one through. I'm going to do some math. We'll see what he does with it. Has some attacks, some pretty juicy ones too. If 2 of these hits connect, this could be lights out. Porter says, don't most of the Foxy cards need to be less Dawn than your opponent? Yeah, I think you might be right about that. That's not going to be a great option against an L. Maximizing at 6 Dawn, you got to do a lot of reduction. That's a very fair point, Braindead. We'll have to look into that list again and see if that is going to be the case. And I think you might be right, if I remember correctly. It's been a long time since I had the pleasure of having Foxy on this channel. But yeah, the 6 Dawn restriction suddenly comes with an upside. Like, come on. It always kind of did when you read the leader. You're like, this means you get 12 Dawn a turn. You get 12 Dawn a turn. That's kind of nasty. On turn 2, I'm a green player sometimes, a red-green player sometimes. And, like, I get to brag about my 13-14, but I can't do that on turn 2. Power creep is real, people. Power creep is real. All right, Porter probably asked for how many cards in hand and wondering what are the odds that he can swing out and win for game at this point. And freezing this blocker would make a lot of decisions a lot easier. We'll see if we can do it. Papa says not really. Some, but not most. Okay, so there are some ways around. That's good to know. Thanks, Papa. I appreciate the impact comments. It's like the only moment I could actually breathe during this event. You guys have been playing so incredibly fast here. All right. Porter looking like he's figured out the math here. Guns 5, we're going to see a senior pink. Or Frankie blocker. Nope, senior pink. Going the event route here. Looks like we do have the ability to freeze up the Sanji. Don minus. There we go. I believe that's supposed to be a minus. But El Thor. Yeah. I'm just going to pop it. Just pop it out of the way. There we go. And here we go. All the blockers here. We got a big swing here. The first one is a hit. Do we have enough swings? Four cards in hand. Can he end it? Don -2 still has a leader ability, if I remember correctly here. So he is going to get 4 attached. I think 4 on this Vinsmoke ratio is going to be enough. Do we have it? 7 + 4, that's 11. Can Lithium counter? No! Lithium not with enough counter. Only with about 4 in hand. Big swing from Porter. He still had leader left. But that's the math that was just being done. Great job from Porter. That was amazing. That's the fastest P&L game I've had the pleasure of covering in a long time. These games usually make me feel like it's going forever. I've seen the Mihawk one. If you guys have seen it, it's like 8 hours. It's crazy. That's those that you guys seen the videos from YouTube. I tried to fix it. I couldn't get the upload to fix right. And I'm probably going to go in when I have some time to re-upload the fixes because I have edited them down. I don't know what happened with the upload. I think it hiccuped and it saved them for 8 hours. They're not actually 8 hours, so like 30 minutes. But I will fix those and re-upload those here in a little bit. Wanted to have those some time to breathe and see what would happen with someone seeing 8 hours. I wanted to see if it might entice one person to click on it. I don't think it worked. So I will be re-uploading those soon, and you guys will have those matches, and the Mihawk versus Mihawk is not 8 hours. But do have some more content coming your way. We have 2 more rounds left. We're going to take a bit of a break, give myself some time to hydrate, get some water, go to the bathroom, get fresh, because we have 2 more rounds left. The last one's going to be the closeout of this event for the maximum amount of points here to see who's going to win tonight's event. And then finally, we're going to close out with a legacy is what I like to call it in Magic, but it's Eternal format. The Eternal format for One Piece, and we have a really fun match that was owed to me by Dom because he screwed up 2 weekends ago, and I finally got my match from him. So Dom, thank you so much for that. We're going to get into his last match in the end here. We're going to see a really fun match. Stay tuned. We got some good gameplay coming your way. We'll be right back.